Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. This is a feature on the top 5 teams. These are live battles, and I test out these teams and I tell you how I like the top 5 most powerful Great League teams on ppoke.com. Part 2. Now, as you see here, before I get started, this Mew that's on team number 2 actually features a Wild Charge Surf Mew. Unfortunately, I was using Grass Knot and Flame Charge because that used to be the... Well, it's still the really good Mew. It's just for content, you know, you gotta sacrifice all the TMs. Mew doesn't like gold. Mew is not a gold digger. It's actually a TM digger. And you will pray and use possibly over 100 TMs to get the Mew set you desire. Luckily, I get it with like 17, but as you see here, I'm kind of like, why? Why do you have to have a different Mew for the next video, bro? Why? Just give me Surf. That's all I want. And I finally get Surf. Anyways, here are the battles. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, so team number 5 actually has Mandibuzz and a Venusaur core in it. I don't have a Mandibuzz, so instead of team 5, I'm going to give you team 6, which is still really, really good. Stunfisk, Pelipper, and Tropius is a very big meta team, and it's still really good to this day, except when you have a Pancake versus a Bunny. Bunny beats is pretty hard here, so I safe switch in a Pelipper. Pelipper is a fantastic safe switch. As I mentioned before, if you get the Hurricane through, you can take back switch, and there's a lot of things you can do with Pelipper. Charges up really fast, and it also wins CMP against a ton of things. So I'm going to let my opponent have their one move through. I'm going to anticipate it's an Ice Beam or a Play Rough. I can tank this and hopefully throw all this energy of whatever comes in the back. And it's an Altaria. This is terrible because hopefully my opponent does not shield this. If they do, I'm just going to go straight Hurricane. I'm going to try to get as many shields as I can or possibly take back switch. As you see, Hurricane does a ton of damage. I don't try to bait here because I don't like, there's really no point. If this Weather Ball lands, I should be able to wing attack down, but hopefully my opponent does not know that. As you see, Burb is the word, and it's very, very powerful. The Weather Ball does go through, and my opponent does get farmed down, and I win max switch! This is why I love Pelipper. Pelipper is such a fantastic safe switch and does so well if you play it really well, and if you have a good high IV one, it will live by 1 HP to Dream. As you see here, I won't get to another Hurricane, so I just throw another Weather Ball. Pelipper took back switch for us. We won alignment, so we're very happy right now. This Azu is going to get like 2 bubbles worth of energy, but that's perfectly fine. I can send in Tropius. Even if they do have Ice Beam, Tropius can still tank 1 Ice Beam. I'd rather have Tropius on this Azu rather than my G-Fisk. So I'm going to, do I shield? I do shield. So I shield this one anticipating the Ice Beam. Now, I'm trying to get to 2 Leaf Blades, or I'm trying to time it correctly so that they don't get bubbled through. I will fire off this Leaf Blade. My opponent will be pressured to shield, or otherwise they lose their Azu. Tropius is really powerful in the back, beats a lot of Fighter and the Water combination in the back. You have to be careful of Ice types, but other than that, Tropius is a monster. The most powerful regional in the game thus far, since the preseason. I mean, it was in my Mega Beam team, and I used it to make... I used it with a Typhlosion and a Registeel to make rank 10/3000 euros. So it's really dang good. I'll double shield here because I should be able to get to 2 Leaf Blades before they get to 2 Ice Beams. Now my opponent's going to switch out like they did over here. And it's a Churrum! Churrum isn't that bulky. Along with that, Weather Ball doesn't do a ton of... Well, it does a ton of damage against Tropius, but I should be able to live to up to 2. I should be able to get an Airless on this Churrum, and I should be able to farm down, and that's going to be GG's. Like I said, this team's very meta, so... it should do very well for you. Pelipper is a fantastic safe switch, and Tropius is a powerful closer, and you got Pancake in the lead. I believe my opponent just rage quits here, top lefts like a monster, just because there's no play. I'm going to farm down your Churrum, and then I will Leaf Blade your Azu, and that will be GG's. This is a great team, and I like it a lot. It'll do well for you if you want to play it. So team number 4 features Galvantula, Azu as your safe switch, and you have Meganium as a closer. The grass in the back is really, really good. Azu going Azu. And Golv is a great lead. I don't like Golv a lot because of Bastiodons and G-Fist and a lot of Pancake leads. Also, this thing right here. Swampert is a horrible lead for us. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to bank a lunge, and I actually try to catch the Hydro Cannon. However, I kind of oop, because you can't, like, Swampert will get to its Hydro Cannon before you actually get to a lunge. So I Q1 up here, I send in my Azu. Now, they're probably going to Sludge Wave me, but I'm going to let it through anyways. So we're already really in a rough spot. Swampert charges fast, and Azu is your safe switch. So with Azu as my safe switch, my opponent doesn't switch out. They just want to spit all over me with Sludge Wave. I did get Sludge Waved, so what I'm going to try to do here is I'm going to grab a shield with using Play Rough, or hopefully deal heavy damage. And hopefully try to take back switch, because I do not want Swampert on my Galvantula. As you see here, my opponent does eat the Play Rough. I should be able to farm down, but they send in an Altaria, which I'm kind of confused about. Because Play Rough, they know I have Play Rough, so this is still going to do a decent chunk of damage if this hits. I'm going to try to get to another Play Rough here. I'm going to frantically get to another one, and hopefully this Altaria doesn't Dragon Breath me down or hit a Sky Attack. So so they fire their Sky Attack, they blow their energy. I will shield here because I want to either take a shield or take out this Altaria. If I shield here, my opponent might try to let this through and then save 2 shields for whatever they have in the back. As you see here, Play Rough does go through. This should KO it should KO or take a shield. It does KO, so my opponent is doing the 2 shield strat like I figured before. They're either trying to flex, or they're very confident that whatever they have in the back can actually take me out. As you see here, I have a Meganium though, so they're running double water, which is great because I can hit because Meganium is incredibly tanky, so I should be able to take a ton of Weather Balls. If this frog does not have Blizzard, I'm chilling right now. Because they fire Weather Ball, I can tell they do not have Blizzard. They're just trying to chip me as much as I can, but I should be able to get to like 3 Frenzy Plants before I go down. So, as you see here, this is why I like Grass in the back, because there's a lot of water types in the back, and my opponent just quits out. That's GG's. They knew they couldn't beat me with Swampert, and they couldn't beat me with Politoed, so like I said, Grass in the back, still very powerful. This team is really good, but you gotta be careful because of Golv. Golv is very squishy. Team number 3 actually features Talonflame in it. I like Talonflame as a lead a lot, and this team is actually the third most powerful team on PvPoke's Great League ranking, so it's really good. The only thing, you have Vigoroth as a safe switch, and then you have a Ferrothorn as a closer. I would just be careful because fires in the back can be a pain, especially if you lose the lead like this. So we lose the lead against the Azu. I switch into Vigoroth as my safe switch. Now, here's what kind of sucks. Remember I was talking about that fighter in the back? Well, guess what? We did get one. We got our Medicham and Vigoroth, so all I'm going to do here is try to body slam this thing to death. I always look on the top right to see their CP, and this is an XL Medicham. So I'm going to keep on body slamming. Hopefully my opponent does not shield. If my opponent doesn't shield, hopefully I can deal some big damage. So, as you see here, I'm doing some big damage to this Medicham because my Vigoroth is such a beast. They try to do a full farm down here for me, but thankfully this is a good shiny Vigoroth, so I'm able to at least take a shield before I go down and do heavy damage to Medicham. Vigoroth goes down. I'm going to send in Talonflame to try and farm down. I will not shield the first move. I already know this is a Psychic, but I need both shields for whatever's in the back because I'm already behind. I know they have an Azu, and I know unless I burb the shield, my Talonflame isn't going to be able to take out this Azu. My plan is, farm down here, I have shield advantage, burb the bunny in the back, and hopefully I either take a shield, or my opponent just eats it, and it's going to do heavy damage. As you see, we did get the Brave Bird off. Hopefully I grab a shield here, and I do, and I'll auto-switch into my Ferrothorn. Now, Ferrothorn has 2 shields against whatever's in the back, and it happens to be a Sableye. So the play here I do is insane. This Ferrothorn is actually rocking Flash Cannon on the PvPoke.com rankings, and I can see why. Flash Cannon is a really great move against things like Abomasnow, and if you Flash Cannon a Sableye, you can actually farm it down with 2 shields. As you see here, I'm going to expend both shields here. I will get 2 Power Whips, get 2 back-to-back Power Whips, and then I will assassinate this bunny and whip it to death like many other teams do. Sorry, bunny, you're going to die today. I will fully farm down this Sableye, and the best thing about Ferrothorn, it also wins CMP against Azu. So if my opponent doesn't have enough energy for 2 Ice Beams, I will win this match. So as you see, we get the full aggressive farm down, super aggressive farm down against that Sableye, and then I will have 2 Power Whips ready for that bunny. Even if my opponent did have an Ice Beam here, I don't believe Ice Beam kills at this range, and I should be able to double Power Whip. They don't have it ready. This is CMP, and it does. both power-ups go off, and that's GG's. I like this team a lot, but again, be careful the fighter in the back, but I just beat a fighter in the back, and I lost the lead. So this team is very powerful, will do you really well if you like Talonflame, and I do believe this belongs the number 3 team on PV Poke. Number 3, great league team, great Talonflame team. Alright, so if you know a little bit about the King of Charmanders, you know I love Bubble Tea. So Honeydewtaro, that is an amazing name. I love this trainer's name. That's a legendary name, literally. So this is legend on legend action here. This is actually my favorite team of the bunch. I love the Venusaur Stunfisk core, and it features Mew with Surf and Wild Charge. As you see here, I don't notice this is actually a Charm A9. So I actually make it. That's actually a horrible misplay on my part that I switched out because I didn't need to. Now that A9 has energy, and now I got a Meganium onto my Mew. Now, because my Mew isn't rocking Flame Charge like the previous set's best Great League Mews, then I'm actually in a lot of trouble right now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm actually going to double Wild Charge through shields just so that they don't get a lot of farm on me. I could Wild Charge double up. Should have double up to 2, but I don't want this Meganium going on full load mode because the thing about it is that my Pancake doesn't do well against Meganium, and Venusaur still doesn't do well, especially with his energy lead. So they're going to blow their energy here. I do not shield. I'm going to assume that my opponent is going to Frenzy Plant first, and hopefully I call the bait, and I do call the bait. That's a huge call. And now what my opponent's going to do here is they're going to Earthquake for their second one. I will shield this. This is a very advanced play, and it takes a lot of confidence to do this. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to farm down this whole Meganium. So I'm going to fall down this whole Meganium. I'm going to have a bunch of energy to throw at whatever you have in the back. And I forgot what they had in the lead. I forgot what they had in the lead. Anyways, we're going to throw out we have a Venusaur with a ton of... Oh, they have the A9. I forgot. So there's an Obstagoon. So the good thing is we do pretty well against this line they have, Obstagoon, and against that A9. So I'm going to fire off this Vine Whip, this Frenzy Plant, and I should grab a shield, or they're just going to let through. My opponent lets it through. They send in their A9. That A9 had banked energy. I will shield this. Now that they gave up switch, I can safely put my Galarian Stunfisk in here, and I can take out this A9 with my Pancake. Yeah, they have 2 shields. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to get a little bit of energy. I'm going to use a Frenzy Plant. This should prompt them to shield, so I'll come into the 1 and the 0s. Pancake should be able to do pretty well against a 1 to 0. It should be able to take this last shield. As you see, I have a Frenzy Plant banked. This is GG's. Why? Because Venusaur wins CMP against Obstagoon. So, as long as I can take the shield and take out this A9, I should be able to take out that Obstagoon, whether it has energy or not. Just because, by the sheer virtue, I win CMP. This is a very advanced strategy. I did jack up switch, so I misplayed early on, and somehow I'm able to win this match. Knowing that you win ahead of time like this makes you pretty comfortable because you already know your win con. Again, this is a really advanced, like 10,000 IQ strategy, but you always want to Q energy as much as you can. Now, as you see here, Obstagoon, it does have Cross Chop. They're going to farm me down, and they have to shield this Rock Slide, otherwise that's GG's. So they're going to shield this, and they're going to farm me down. However, Venusaur wins CMP, and I have a move bank, so that's going to be GG's, regardless of whether they have a Night Slash or not. Because I know they do, because all this energy they get. They're frantically typing on their move, but I win CMP, so that's GG's. Again, I really like this team. I played this really well. As you see there, I really horribly played that lead because Charm A9 actually doesn't do well against Venusaur. So that's GG's. Again, this is my favorite team. If you want to use a team, I recommend this one, but Mew's expensive. Surflame Wild Charge will serve you well as a safe switch. And the Venusaur Stunfisk core is very, very powerful in this meta. Alright, so the strongest team statistically by PvPoke.com features Bastiodon. I don't know how this team is number 1. I don't like it personally because Bastiodon either wins hard for you or loses hard for you. This is a super generic team. You basically have Bastiodon on the back, Ozzy as your safe switch, and Medicham XL as your most powerful lead. As you see here, we get a Skarmory into Medicham. So Medicham XL wins if it has Power Punch. I don't have Power Punch. So what I'm going to hope to do here is that my opponent actually doesn't shield anything. If I use one shield here and I straight Ice Punch, I should be able to take out this Skarmory. So there's a lot of ways you can play it. If you plan on using this team, you can have the choice of like Ice Punch and Power Punch, or Power Punch and Psychic. It's really up to you. I think Ice Punch and Psychic is fine because with Ice Punch, there's a lot of plays you can make against Grass-type Pokemon, which now are very, very popular because of the Weather Ball meta And yeah, because of the Watermelon meta and because of Venusaur. So as you see here, we're going to hit these Ice Punches. My opponent elects not to shield. They're sacking their Skarmory, and they're going to come in with 2 shields. So they have shield advantage, which is a smart play by my opponent. And they do pretty well because they send in their Azu. So I'm going to tap frantically, trying to get to this Psychic here. Unfortunately, I time it very, very wrong. And they get a Bubble Through. But that's okay, because what my opponent's planning to do here is they're going to farm me down anyways. So my hope is I can get to 2 Psychics. Medicham Axel is really thick, so I can see why it's a very powerful lead. It's actually the most powerful lead in the game right now, as I believe. Is just like statistically, just because there's so many things you can do with it, and it keeps you guessing because Psychic does heavy damage, especially if you get the debuff. I'm gonna send my Azu here. I'm gonna have my Azu sponge all the damage here. And I'm going to hope that Bastiodon can take out what's in the back. Because at this point, what's going to happen is I'm going to eat all the damage here with Azu, take out their Azu with a Play Rough, and then we're going to go to the 1 shield. So hopefully Azu is able to take out whatever's in the back. It's going to take 4 foul plays to kill me here. So I will still be able to get a little bit, like, I'll still come out of this with some health left. I do believe, like, that's basically it. Like, hope Bastiodon just walls whatever's in the back, and that's GG's. Again, I don't like this team. Well, I don't like Bastiodon in general. It's a good Mon, but, like, it really banks on you, like, it either wins the lead, it's gonna win the game for you, or lose the game for you really hard. As you see here, that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed these battles. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hopefully these teams do help you out. Good luck on your Go Balax sets, and I'll see you on the next video.